strengthening your identity while the shadow is in front of you. In her new journal, Strengthening Your Identity While the Shadow is in Front of You, Mwati Mwila shares her memoir of experiencing good assortment, finding her character, and making sense of instructions to be strong despite aggravation, joining being resolved to have bipolar disarray. Mwati is a veritable inhabitant of the world, and perusers will be charmed by and maybe envious of her various overall encounters. Considered in Zambia, Mwati moved, while still a little adolescent, with her people, 2 more prepared sisters, and more young kin to Australia and New Zealand where she went to class. To be sure, even at a young age, she realized that she was not exactly equivalent to her companions taking into account her skin concealing, and once in a while, she experienced. These experiences drove her to deliver what it expected to be African when she was not in her neighborhood country. Only 1 out of every odd last piece of her experiences were negative, in any case. Mwati shares various records of her developments and moreover of the various incredible events she had as a youth with her family and accomplices. In later years, she would pick up capability with the power that those memories expected to help her with staying strong, and she would moreover recognize how the significant lots of traveling kept her family members intently so they ended up being close and maintained each other each time they were gone up against with acclimating to another culture and condition. During her youth years, Mwati moved with her family to the Seattle locale, and it was then that she really had the alternative to get a handle on a character she felt okay with. In Australia and New Zealand, she'd had limited introduction to dull culture, yet in the United States, she could watch Bet and check out R&B and hip-hop. She grasped dull style and culture, and she accepted she was finally prepared to convey her genuine self. However, this chipper a great time was passing. When Mwati entered school, she began to experience some fomenting clinical issues, including dropping. In a little while, she was resolved to have bipolar disarray. Her illness would once in a while backslide and grant her to continue with a normal life, anyway then it would eject and cause her to become disheartened and even foolish. In these pages, Mwati straightforwardly shares how she battled her affliction and at long last managed it, understanding what may have set it off and how to keep up. A vital good ways from exercises, for instance, eating sugar that would exasperate it. Mwati similarly continued with her world goes as a prompt result of her illness. Her mother was hesitant just to recognize her infection and see her young lady persevere. Together, they set about finding a fix or conceivably a way to deal with make living with bipolar unrest easier for Mwati. This sickness was the shadow that was reliably there before Mwati, yet it told her the best way to be strong and to regard herself and the enrichments she had. Her mother's affirmation to find answers for her drove Mwati on significant outings to countries like Brazil, where they met with the living blessed individual John of God, just as to Nigeria, and moreover back home to Zambia to get counsel from her grandmother. Today, Mwati Mwila is a strong youngster who isn't letting her bipolar issue keep her from doing all that she can to improve the world a spot. She is sharing her story through these pages, believing it will help others similarly make sense of how to be strong, paying little heed to what sorts of torment they face. All through the book, Mwati offers influential explanations she has made, including, there are a couple of things in life that you can simply learn by being isolated, to give people. Finally, every part gets done with at any rate 1 reflection question so people can consider what they have as of late examined, ask themselves how it applies to their own lives. Also, make sense of what changes they may need to make to improve their lives. I colossally regard Mwati Mwila for her validity and her capacity not to stow away in the shadows anyway to approach and offer her story so it will support others. I'm sure her book will offer might want to various